expresses itself in the gross out of these subtle centers. The left-hand side of our subtle body, this blue column, is our psyche. It's our emotions. It's our past. It's the part of us which is our conditioning and creates what we might call our superego. Our response mechanism, our reflex mechanism. It's our memory. The right-hand side is our projection. It relates to our planning. It relates to our thinking. And of course it relates to our ego. It's the mechanism by which we reach rational conclusions. It's through the right-hand side that we analyze and calculate and reach certain, often illogical, but rational conclusions. So we have to be careful that these imbalances do not express themselves within us to any great extent, or the tendency is that we will move either too far to the left side or too far to the right side, and so move beyond our own personal subconscious or our own personal supraconscious into an area which is totally deluding and quite often dangerous, which is called the collective subconscious or the collective supraconscious, which is occupied by spirits of the dead which can and do possess us. It ranges from dangerous zones which give us such problems as alcoholism, cancer, all sorts of power complexes, with the ultimate example of Hitler. So we have to be extraordinarily careful of these dabblings and dilettante attitudes towards our seeking. I've been dealing with sick people in my professional life, and I've seen so many seekers who've not only gone to these false gurus and have been damaged and come back worse for the spiritual pilgrimage, but I've seen many others who have been equally damaged, although perhaps not quite so openly and so obviously, by such other, more socially acceptable forms of seeking, such as these courses in clairvoyance, such as charismatic church movement where there is obvious spiritual possession, such as in, for example, the calling down of spirits in the spiritualist church, such as sitting in trance in circle and so on. We have to be careful of all of these areas as well. And as I said, we have to be very careful of healing, because who might be healing might be the power of a very, very busybody or ego-oriented spirit that is using our body to achieve his own ego trip through us. Mind you, the person who is the host has to have a rather big ego as well to be an acceptable host to that busybody. But never mind. This is often what happens. It has happened to me, and I openly admit it. Since gaining my self-realization, I gain a power which is far more subtle, but far more all-embracing, and that is the power of God. The power that loves, that coordinates, that balances, that dissolves all the negativity. Not by some trick of laying on of hands and you start shaking and sweating and some temporary relief that takes place in the physical body. Not perhaps as, for example, as I watched for 2 years the Filipino healers, where with all sorts of nonsense they play around with tissue and they use spirits who dematerialize tissue and rematerialize tissue. This is dangerous nonsense and often interferes with the spiritual progress of the patient and certainly the person who's doing the job. So beware of all of these rather fringe areas, these danger zones in the field of spiritual seeking, and take to Sahaja Yoga, because here you get your own powers. And those powers are very, very subtle, very, very sweet, and they are totally unrelated to spirit possession. I'm dwelling a little on spirit possession because perhaps Mother tonight will speak of that chakra where this is a problem, the Swadhisthana chakra. So, in our seeking, take great care Take great care that you have your own powers, that you are in control, that you become the master. This is what self-realization gives you. It gives you that joy of the Spirit. It gives you that contact with the divine, and you develop it. You find that your physical ills get better. You find that you can give realization to others. You find that you can become your own doctor and the doctor to others. And you can enjoy the sweetness of collectivity, of really having brothers and sisters, not talking about it, but becoming a very, very beautiful part of an emerging spiritual civilization which has been promised in all the scriptures. If Mataji is the one who can do the job, if she's the one who can, by her power and love, raise this Kundalini, be humble enough to accept it. Take it at least as a hypothesis. Allow it to develop within yourself. She suggests for at least 8 days. Find out, develop it, work it out, know your own powers, maneuver it, allow yourself to enjoy the giving of realization to others, and ultimately know the joy of the Spirit. This is what it is. It's what you've been seeking, and yet I can't convince you. You have to find that out for yourself. In fact, you needn't believe anything that I've said. What you have to do is you have to establish your vibrations, you have to establish your Kundalini awakening in such a way that you, in fact, prove for yourself that what I say is the truth. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you Her Holiness Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi. Perhaps while the film crew is finishing off their work, I can just familiarize you with the chakras, because these centers may be a little foreign to you in terms of names. So this Muladhara chakra lies at the area which is at the base of the spine. Right here, it relates to such areas of the spine, areas of the body as the prostate gland. It relates to our sex and our sex organs, and supplies the energy in that area of the body. It's also related to the sacral and coccygeal plexus in the gross body. And that's the center which has to be awakened. That's the center which has to begin the job of giving you self-realization, because here, coiled up in the sacrum, is the Kundalini. Notice how it's above. Mother will explain in a moment a very significant point, that this center is above the Muladhara chakra because it's the center of holiness. It's the center of the Holy Mother within you. It's the center of the Holy Ghost within you. So again, ladies and gentlemen, with that little bit of understanding, Mataji Nirmala Devi. To be right.
Can I start?
Yes.
I bow to all the seekers of truth. As I told yesterday to you that truth is what it is. It will be what it will be. You cannot change the truth for your adaptation or for your mental projection or for your own convenience. It will remain whatever it is. The first point of truth is that it establishes itself despite all kinds of agencies or all kinds of forces which are anti. Second, it is that it caters for the honest seekers. It's like a little root coming out of the seed, goes round and round, fix itself onto the source. The third is that it may shatter some of your ideas. It may upset some of your convictions. But when it appears, it is such a great joy that absolutely you are lost in the ocean of that enjoyment. You forget everything that you have lost. You are happy that you have lost that dirty boat of yours, that hanging and everything that you had, and now that you have become one with the ocean of joy. The truth is your spirit. It is eternal. It is the expression of God within you. Because we have not been able to achieve that in our consciousness, we are disturbed, upset, feel sometimes as if we are ruined people. But spirit cannot be ruined. It cannot be dried out. It cannot be killed. It resurrects you, fills you up with all the blessings of the divine. That's the connection you have to get. Any instrument that is made, if it is not connected to the mains, has no meaning. In the same way, you are made so beautifully, so gloriously and delicately, that only thing you have to do is to put the mains. And the joy of becoming yourself is fantastic. So the second point which I said was that it can be shattered, your condition. And that's why I have to tell you that when you listen to me, you should not get upset. It is not at all to upset you. I have nothing to get from you, nothing to get. This is your own property within you, and you have to remove all the shackles, all the overpowering ignorance, and just get to the truth as it is and as it manifests. The manifestation of the truth, the spirit, is beyond human understanding, in the sense that it is a happening. It happens to you that you become the spirit. And something that has to happen cannot be comprehended with this limited brain, because I am talking about something that is unlimited. So you have to be prepared to be triggered into the space which is unlimited. This happening is definitely miraculous and spontaneous. It is the greatest happening that a human being can ever think. It is described in short in so many verses of Quran. Quite clearly, it was stated by Christ that you are to be born again. But Indian seers have seen it very clearly, everything that works it out. They don't have any religion, They don't follow any organization, they are seers. And they all have seen how it works out. The knowledge that I am telling you is not of today, but even 14,000 years back, Markandeya, a great poet in India, has written about it. Of course, I have brought it to the modern standard to explain to you. But when you read Markandeya, you will be amazed after realization that from his book you will be getting vibrations. Recently, about 100 years back, William Blake, such a great poet of England, has written absolutely everything about Sahaja Yoga, how it is going to work. He has written that the men of God will become prophets, and these prophets will have powers to make others prophet. Clearly he has said it. But I wonder how many people read him to understand what to expect, that you have to become the prophet. If people say I am a prophet, all right, so what? It makes no difference to you if I am a prophet. But you have to become the prophet. That's what he has clearly said. He has clearly said so many things that amazingly we have found even the places where we have got our ashrams, even the place where I live, he has very clearly stated the exact address of the place. What a seer England had. And then ultimately he says, Jerusalem. England is going to be a Jerusalem nobody could have believed 300 years back, or even 200 years back, even 100 years back, even yesterday, that it is possible. That English would represent Jerusalem, the place of pilgrimage, where people will go for pilgrimage. But today, I would say, it is becoming. It is happening in England, and should happen in Australia also, because I said Australia has a special place, a very special place. In the cosmos of this universe, Australia is this great center, the first center of Bolana. And the proof of that is Ayers Rock, which has the same color, the same shape. The deity's face also the same, with a trunk in front. Australia stands for innocence. I wonder how many have retained their innocence. They are innocent by birth, by the way God has blessed. An innocent man is the wisest man, is the wisest person, and he takes to wisdom very much easily. Only thing, the confidence should be there and the self-esteem about yourself. These are the only two things which will bring out that innocence within you, which has to help the whole world to come around. I have great hopes from Australia, because God has created it with a very big purpose. So, as He has told me today about these three things we have, I will give you the permutations and combinations of these, how they work out with us. So, please listen with understanding that whatever doesn't go with you, your ideas, you should not bother about. I am sure we will be able to prove it to you that this is so. Now the first power that is within us is the power of desire. The power of desire is the one that exists but is not apparent. This is the power which gives us emotions, or is the power of our psyche, as it is. This is the power that creates by its activity on top of your head, more on the right hand side, An institution called as superego means all your conditionings are stored there. This works for your memory, for your past. And beyond that lies the area, beyond the left side lies the area of collective subconscious. Because this looks after your subconscious. And beyond that is the collective subconscious, means the area which is built within us since the creation. The complete dead is on the left hand side. On the right hand side, there is another power which works out the action. So we call it the power of action, by which we act for our physical expression and for our mental expression, by which we think for the future, by which we plan out things, by which we rationalize and create another pouch like a balloon, which is called an ego, as a byproduct of the activity of the set. Beyond this lies another area which is the supraconscious, and then the collective supraconscious, meaning all that is the future. So the people who are very futuristic, very ambitious, who try to dominate others, like Hitler we can call, would reside in that area of collective supraconscious. In the center lies another power within us. That's why Buddha always said, keep to the center. Live a life of moderation and not of extremes. This central power is the power that gives us our human awareness, that carries us from a small little animal amoeba to this stage of human life. So it is our evolutionary power within us. Scientists never thought on one point, why did we become human beings? What was the need to make us human beings? For what purpose? Nature, if they don't believe in God, has created human beings. So these evolutionary powers work on a system called dharma, means the one that will sustain. Also you can call the inner religion within us. The religion of carbon is 4 valencies. The carbon has 4 valencies, and the carbon stage resides on the first center in a human being, where carbon is an innocent thing. All animals are innocent. All matter is innocent. If I put my hand in the fire, it will burn. If I don't put my hand there, it will not burn. It is innocent. Means it doesn't commit any sins, because it has no concept of sin. Only the human beings have got the concept of sin through their ego, and that's why they think they commit sins. Till you are a human being, you will always feel either you are committing sin or you will think that others are committing sins. Either you will aggress others or you will take aggression upon yourself. So we have 2 types of people within us, especially the ones who take aggression, others who give aggression. The left side people are the people who take aggression. The right side people are the people who give aggression. That doesn't mean the person who takes aggression is a very good man, or a person who gives aggression is a very bad man. According to me, both of them are in the same way. Because if you trouble others, you are aggressive. But if you torture yourself, you are aggressive to yourself. And you have no business to torture yourself, because this body is not created by you. It is created by God. And this human being is created so beautifully with such love, by that created for a purpose. And you have no business to destroy it because of your ego or because of your superego. Now, we have got two types of people, as I told you, the left and right side people. And there are people who are very much in the center, who lead a life of moderation, of understanding that life has to be worked out in a way that you get to God, that you get to your spirit. They may not believe in God, that's not necessary. They may not go to church, they may not go to temples, they may not do all these things, but within themselves, they are people of moderation. They are good people. They are righteous people. They are people leading a good life, neither aggressive nor taking aggression. They stand by those who are aggressed and they abhor the people who are aggressed, and they tell the people who are aggressed that you should not take any aggression. These are the people who are in the center. Now, at this stage, we have to combine these three types of people. One is a tamoguni, as they call it, on the left-hand side. Right side is a rajoguni, and in the center is the person who stays as a sattva. Now, the central person is very important from Sahaja Yoga point of view, because he gets his realization without any difficulty, and he achieves it, understands it, and accepts it without any difficulty. Once it happens, it just flows. The people who are very complicated, either by over emotions or over mental activity, are the people who are to be brought round to the center. And once their attention comes to the center, then it is much easier to enlighten. Now this Kundalini, which is the power within you of the Holy Ghost. Holy Ghost is the power of God, which is all pervading. The power of God, which is separated from God. God Almighty, the Father, is watching the birth of this power, which is His own. Now you can see that this power of God is divided into four. Three of them, as I have told you, the fourth one is the Kundalini. The other day I told you Kundalini is the pure desire within you, which you may not be aware of. It's the purest desire within you. And this pure desire is to be one with the divine. And this desire is absolutely waiting for a moment when somebody could awaken it and give the second birth to her only child. Everyone has an individual mother. This Kundalini looks after her. She's the one, she gives you conscience. She's the one who guides you. She's the one who saves you from difficult things. She's the one who also nourishes your parasympathetic, which is in the center, expressed in the center, which coordinates and controls the sympathetic nervous system, which are the left and right sympathetic nervous system in the human body. Now the doctors don't understand this. So they don't understand how to differentiate between a psychosomatic problem, between a physical problem, between a mental problem and a problem that we can call of imbalances. And in that confusion, most of the diseases are declared as incurable. Now, to understand how deep all these problems are, one has to know that so far we have not reached the depth where we could understand that all the problems that we face in our society, in our politics, in our economics, or in our day-to-day life, in our family, with our children, have got roots down below within ourselves. And if we could cure those roots, we can completely change the whole world, the face of the whole world. And emancipation of the whole mankind is in the hands of today's people who want first their correction of their instrument, and by that correction of others. This time has been described before as the resurrection time by Muhammad, as the time of judgment, while many others in the Bible is described as the time of judgment. In the 16th chapter, if you have seen, the complete picture of the last judgment is so beautifully shown. And the Archangel which is there, which is presided by Christ himself, is absolutely shown there. Michelangelo himself was a realized soul. And he could see all these things so clearly. He's put them down in beautiful pictures. I wish you could have some chance to have a look at it after your realization, and you will be surprised that he has shown how Christ is going to choose ultimately. Now at this time we have to see these 3 chakras plus the 3 channels that we have within ourselves. So the combination of these, we have to see how they work it out. Now the first chakra, if you notice, is connected only to one side. That is the psyche. So when we start doing sex through our mental activity, it is joyless. It is out of place. Reading about sex, thinking about sex, working it out through sex understanding through brain is absolutely useless, because brain cannot understand sex. We talk so much about sex, but people have no joy of sex, I can see that. Because if you really achieve the joy of sex within yourself, after some time you just become above sex. You mature into a personality where complete freedom is there from sex for you. You are completely potent. You don't become impotent. But the whole movement of your complete energy goes towards your heart and not towards your sex. This is another type of world I come to sometimes in the West, where I'm surprised that people believe that sex plays a part in their evolution. In India, nobody is going to believe this. Even if you tell them Freud or anyone, they will say he must be mad. They are not going to believe it, because traditionally it is proved. See, all traditional countries, China, I've talked to Egyptians, Chinese and Indians. They have the same views about sex, and they just laugh at other people. What are they doing? Where are they rambling? Why are they wasting their energy? They just can't understand what's the matter with these people. Have they gone off their heads? But if you go to any newly born country, they are better. Because also one reason, that sometimes tradition can clamp you down to certain things which could not be so helpful. But those who are forming their opinion even now are better, because you can tell them that sex does not play a part in your evolution. Now you can see that it lies below the Kundalini. This center looks after all excretion, which has got 4 petals, as we have got 4 plexuses, subplexuses. We've got 4 subplexuses for our major plexus called as pelvic plexus within us. So in the gross, the pelvic plexus represents, in the gross, this subtle center of Muladhara. So the people who think too much about sex, study sex, and bother too much with their brains are having a joyless pornography with them. It's absolutely joyless, absurd, and creates the biggest problem for the society. First time when I went abroad, I started people looking at every woman, looking at every man. Mad, I said, what's the matter with them? Very unsteady temperament, all the time looking at every woman, looking at every man. You can't miss one. You see, even if there's a lady pass by, you go on twisting your neck up to that, and another pass by, you say, you have missed someone there, you should have immediately go there. And like mad, all of them are going, I say, what's the matter? Whether they're 80-year-old, 6-year-old, or 10-year-old, or even they are absolutely about to jump in the grave. Still in the grave, they might be twisting their necks. It's stupid. It's stupid. What do we get out of it? But the eyes are so now made, because after Sir Yoga, when they come to me, They tell me, mother, even now we cannot fix our eyes. There's something. Once one of the surgeons was standing next to me. Suddenly he turned his head. I said, what happened? He said, there's a lady standing behind me. So I said, how is it you got attracted to her? There must be some sort of a thing behind your head, and that's what it is here. That the Muladhara is expressed at the back. Here in the point which is jutting out of your cranial bones, that's the point is of Muladhara. Now how it has an effect on the eyes? Because it goes on walking. There are two types of effects of Muladhara. One is the right side and the left side. If you are too much constipated person, if you suffer from too much constipation, and you are a very strict man, even you would not look at your wife, that sort of a person. Another extremes are there. A nun or a priest or some sort of a thing like that. Just forced celibacy and a very disciplined life, such people can get right Muladhara. The left Muladhara, those people get it who are not at all having any respect for their chastity. These are the two types of extreme you go because of the left and the right. But the left side Muladhara is much more dangerous than the right side. Because at the most a person can get constipation or trouble of all these dryness in the body from the right side. But the left side Muladhara, those who indiscriminately use their chakras for a very licentious, permissive life and all that, go into dangerous zones. Already nature has shown. Nature shows 65% of young people in America are either impotent or are suffering from a terrible influx, absolute, horrible diseases which cannot be cured. You must be knowing that sailors, when they travel, they have to take an injection at every port. Because they are supposed to indulge into that. But these days it is democracy, so everybody is the same. Democracy, I will call it. Because the kings were like this, we should be wide strong. But you'll be amazed if the center is spoiled, what diseases you can get. Is one of them is this mellitus. Not only, but if a person has this disease, any woman or man who lives with such a person can contact horrible diseases at that point because of this. That's why Christ has said that it is written in the Bible, thou shalt not commit adultery. I say thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. To that extent he went. The purity of eyes is lost. And that's what he pointed out for today's time, at this time, that this will happen. So it creates so many problems in the married life itself. Now we see the combination, how it works. If you are a left-sided sexual pervert, you get into all kinds of nonsense. First of all, you develop funny relationships which I can't all sorts of funny relationships. I was told yesterday there was some homosexual who had come to fight me, but I never mentioned anything about sex with me. But it is a joyless sex habit. It is joyless. Apart from that, it is unnatural. It gives problem to both of them, and they are in for a trouble for a very serious disease. Within 10 years, all of them will suffer from either cancer or from a life-taking problem. Within 10 years' time, let them fight, go to the courts, get their rights to become sick. I have nothing to say. They are all going to suffer too much. It's like you're going to the government and asking for right for getting yourself into disease or into madness. They will become mad. Because if this center goes out here, you become You become a mad person. You become a crazy person. No wonder that you find more crazy persons in the West than in India. We may be poor people, at least we have some wisdom. We have traditionally known that this is what happens. I just can't understand how people take to these things so easily and ask for it and go into trouble. So all these diseases like mellitus, even cancer, cancer of the lower region, all these can be caused by this perverted people. Apart from this perversion, too much indulgences into all sorts of women and all sorts of prostitution and licentiousness is decadence. Is complete decadence of the society. How do we expect to have good children? How do we expect to have a good relationship with your wife? In your family, you have no nest there. You live with the wild wind. Like the wild wind in yourself. Imagine, in India, when they say that, alright, if you have a person, a stranger who comes to your house, be careful, he might run away with your things. Alright, doesn't matter. But now in England, Indians say don't allow any Westerner to come and stay in your house, he'll run away with your wife. I mean, they remove the roots of the family. Absolutely. You go in a society, I find all the women and men are so upset or aggressive because they feel insecure. So insecure with each other. They don't know what are these women are up to. The woman doesn't know what the man is up to. They are so insecure. If you travel abroad, you meet somebody. She said things that, of course, my husband is not going to be a very good man. Why should I be a good man? Good lady. Why should I be a good lady? If that my husband is not going to do that, then why should I try to be a good person? And the competition sets in them. All sorts of funny things are going on in the name of enjoyment. This is the most joyless enterprise you are into. A man comes home. I saw this in England first time and I was shocked. You are living in an area which is really of very elite, lots of ladies live there. And we had a neighbor, about say 48 years of age or something. And her son, who was living in a hostel, brought another friend who was much younger than him. And this lady eloped with him. Stupid, I tell you, it is stupidity, this old woman. They sold the house because she has a right. Even your laws must understand what they are doing. She sold the house, they had 3 daughters. 3 daughters are on the street like prostitutes now. Father has no control. He has so-called married another woman. It's absurd. This is not the way the society is going to work out. There's something definitely very wrong with us because we do not understand that chastity is the greatest thing a human being can have. It's the power that a man has is of his chastity and a woman has. People ask me about Mahatma Gandhi. He was a man who was so chaste, his wife so chaste. We haven't met many people like this in India, except for the city people are different. But in the villages, they don't think of these things and they live very normally. Why it's such a kind of an inferiority complex put into everyone? It's a sign of inferiority complex only that you want to attract every man and woman on the street. If you are really good, why should you worry about attracting everyone and advertising? Another thing is that people think that when a lady is good looking, you must have her. This is absurd again. How are you looking? Please see in the mirror. Why every man wants a beautiful woman, and why every beautiful woman wants a beautiful man? I can't understand. But there are only 2-3 persons can marry in this world. The others are just looking at them, flabbergasted. But what you have, why don't you enjoy? A simple thing as that. You have your wife, you have your husband. Why not enjoy them? Want to enjoy somebody else's wife? Please be seated. Thou shalt not covet your neighbor's wife. Won't you sit on a chair and be sensible? Please be. Have good manners. Go and sit on the chair, please. Yes, sit down on a chair. This behavior is to be changed, but you cannot change it overnight, I understand. Only way is that you must accept. When you become prosperity, there is second birth. When everything is washed out. I have seen many homosexuals, they have become sensible. Many prostitutes have become very sensible women. But that's what happened to Mary Magdalene when she came to Christ. This is what the purity has to do, is to purify you and to give you the maximum joy of life. From married life, you have no joy. We are all the time fighting on something, on material things, on this and that. But if that innate understanding between both of them is made, only the people who take maybe those drugs may not be fighting because they have become capitalists now. If you have no power to fight and if you don't fight, what is so great? To substantiate your society with real source of joy, you must establish the center, which Australians can do much faster than anybody else. Because now I have got disciples from 12 countries. And the best among them on this point are Australians. Overnight they are changed. Overnight. Wonderful. But to a Western mind, it's not a serious thing. Because they cannot locate it, they cannot relate it to the disease that is causing it. It's such an open truth that people who indulge into these bad habits develop very bad diseases. Even some of the leprosy, some of the kind of leprosies are developed. But the modern diseases are even worse. I met a gentleman who has mellitus. And his wife was a mad woman. When he liked it, despite her badness and all that, he should have put her in the lunatic asylum. And he developed this from the left Muladhara. Now to cure these people is very easy. You have to just raise the Kundalini, and the Kundalini can enlighten that center. And your innocence can come back. Your chastity will show its result. Your face will change. People I have seen after realization become 20 years younger, immediately. Because of the center which is bestowed upon by the deity of Sri Ganesha, who is the embodiment of eternal childhood. And this Sri Ganesha later on takes his birth at the higher chakra called Agya as our Lord Jesus Christ. That I'll tell you tomorrow about Jesus Christ, who he was, how he came on this earth, and what are the references to him in the ancient scriptures of India. So the center of Muladhara, the less said the better. I think it is for you to understand that chastity plays a very important part. If the person has got this problem, then the Kundalini does rise, no doubt. It rises, but is again sucked back. Even the people who are too much on the right hand side always think too much and work very hard and earning money for their wives, find their wives run away. Because they are very hard people to live with. They are very hot-tempered, irritable, and angry. So here the man earns everything for the wife, and there he finds the wife has run away by the time he comes. So this chakra is the basis of our lives. Chastity is the basis of our life. You must have heard that women in India, thousands of them, put up a fire and burn themselves off, called as johar, because they thought that the Muslim invaders will come and molest their chastity. Because traditionally they have realized that chastity is the power of a woman. Same of the man. Of course, men don't believe in chastity at all. So they think they are not men if they are chaste. But such a man who has no chastity is not at all a man. Not at all a man. He's something in between. Anyone who has chastity can see from the way he talks, with his confidence, with his complete understanding of the whole thing, such a person surpasses everybody else. And even after the death of such a licentious man, he may be the biggest man, people talk about him. You cannot adore a man of that kind. It may be, but you say, oh, it's all right, he was great, but he had this nonsense business with him. He was going about with such and such actress. You don't respect such a man, because I have not seen anyone putting up statues of people who were great because of their unchaste behavior. I haven't seen anyone. Or because he was a great homosexual, you put up a big statue of him, a great homosexual. I mean, you may do it later on, I don't know to what extent you can go if this magnet spot wrong. But I have not seen anyone putting up a perverted man. Put a statue of him and garland. I have not seen even the silliest of silly respecting him. There's a clan in India called as the Kamis Hermaphrodite. They too worship a goddess who is a very strict goddess. They too want to ask her a blessing that they should not be like this next life, whatever they have done in previous life. That's why they have become like this. Now next life at least should be good. So they try to worship a goddess, which is a very strict goddess. They give all punishments to us, but don't give us this life. So this is the basis that we have, and we have to ascend to the spirit. Now the another chakra we have is the Swadhisthana chakra. As you can see that it is connected to the right side. But it moves to the right and left. It is like a lotus with a stem, which moves in that area that you show the green part, which is this viscera, complete. And here the attention resides. Human attention resides here. This center comes out of the third center, which you see there, as the green one, called as the center of your seeking. The first one, I told you, is the center of innocence. The second one of creativity, and the third one of seeking. This is the most important center within us, because of seeking, we have become human beings. First we were seeking only food, then a shelter, then a society, then, of course, money, possessions, politics, power. Ultimately, you become subtler and subtler because it is trial and error method. You try this, you get fed. Next life you come, you become something else. That life you try something, you become something else. That's how the human beings work it out. And ultimately come to a point that there is no sense in all these pursuits, forget it. There must be something beyond. And that's the real place where you have to arrive. That it is the spirit we are seeking. In all these things, there was nothing but just a mirage of joy. There is no joy in all these things, so we should give up this mirage and take to reality. That is the spirit within us. In this seeking, we have two types of people again, the left-sided and the right-sided. The left-sided people think that if they have their own family, mostly Indians are like that, they believe in the family system to such an extent that they can sell their country sometimes for their own children's sake, for their sons. They have no sense of collectivity. When it comes to such a close feeling for your own family, that if your son, even if he's a murderer, still he is your own son. So in relation to the whole, you must think of your family. The left-sided people can be also extremely emotional type. So all their creativity goes to the emotional side. Like they become poets, sing a song of lamentation, anguish, sufferings, all kinds of sufferings they have. This is not a very kind thing to do, to make others cry. See, there are some poets who make you so much cry that they'll take out your eyes and wash it and put it back. To that extent, they are horribly sadistic. Like Lord Byron, horrible fellow. He wrote this, so many things. He himself led a most licentious and a horrid life. He was an aggressive man. He did all that to aggress others, torture others, and here he is writing the poetry of how a man suffers. Just imagine what a dishonest and a cheat he was to talk like this. He was such an arrogant man that he went to Portugal. There's a beautiful place called Sintra there, beautiful place. So he says that Sintra is too beautiful to be wasted on Portuguese, as if he's the most beautiful man ever living, that all this beauty should flow to this horrible person. This creates an imaginary, you see, an indulgence into suffering. I met many like that. They are poetically suffering. They enjoy all the songs of suffering and then they become themselves tragic. Such people cannot give joy to anyone. Our people run away from such people. They think he is a person who is a mourner. In India, you see, we pay these mourners. If somebody dies and has no mourners, they can be paid and they are brought for crying and weeping and saying all these things. You see, there are people paid for it in India. Imagine. I mean, we use them for this purpose. Artificially, they can mourn somebody's death and earn some money out of it. But such kind of miserable people are such a blot on the name of God, who has given you so much. Count your blessings. Count your blessings one by one. First of all, that you are not under the control of the nature, the passion. You are a free human being. So many things He has given you, and still you are weeping and crying and saying that we have to suffer. Those who believe in suffering will get it. You want suffering? All right, have it. They'll get it. And these people can really go so much with it about the suffering part that recently I met one group in Spain. And I said, what are you doing about your seeking? They said, we are going to Gobi Desert. I said, for what? This Shambhala is there. I said, what is that Shambhala? It's the God's heaven in Gobi Desert. And there's a gentleman who is going to take us to the Gobi Desert, and we are going to walk in the center of Gobi Desert. I said, very nice. And we are paying so much money for that. Now in that Gobi Desert, you can't get even a drop of water. You pay a lot of money to go to that Gobi Desert, walk across and die there. And this man gets all the money of the fooding people. But then we must suffer. For what? Why do you want to suffer? Christ has suffered for you enough. If Christ is awakened within you, He will take up everything upon Himself. He will really wash all your sins. And you can get your realization. That's how it works so quick. If you know how to enlighten Him within yourself, then it works out. Still, the Christians are even continuing with the idea of suffering. Leave alone the Jews. Christians are just the same. And they enjoy, you see, this kind of suffering upon themselves. It's all imaginary. Like we went to France, in Paris. We are all miserable people, les miserables. And they told me, don't tell them, mother, that you are a happy woman. They will not like it. You better tell you are the most miserable. Les miserables, all miserables sitting there. I said, what miserable they are? Every third lamp post you will find a pub, and every seventh lamp post you will find a prostitute. This is the miserable thing they have. Do miserable people do all these things? Just sitting outside for the last doomsday, the calamity, they'll have it if they want to have. But God has not created you to be miserable at all. No, not at all. He has created you to be very happy and joyous, to enjoy the beauties of His bounties. We are really letting Him down, and it's such a miserable thing. Supposing now you want to invite somebody to your house, your own son is coming, you are so excited about it. You are so anxious that your son, after such a long time, such a long journey, is coming as a glorious man to your house. And there it is, he is weeping, saying, I am miserable. So those people who indulge into the left side of the Swadhisthana so much suffer because they enter into an area called collective subconscious. And this is the area which the other day doctors pointed out. When they were studying the cancer disease, they said a vulnerable person who is vulnerable to cancer, the one who is an extreme temperament person. A person who is extremely hardworking can be vulnerable also. But is triggered by a protein which they call as protein 58 or protein 52, which enters in the being, which triggers it, and this protein 1 is coming from the area called as, according to them, we call it collective conscious, the collective subconscious, but they call it the area built in within us since the creation. I mean, they say something else, we make it clear, that's all. And cancer is caused by that. Invariably, I have seen those people who have come to me from cancer have been the people who got it from the left side. You wanted to suffer or not have cancer, enjoy it. But there was a journalist who came to see me in America, and I told him that you should not suffer. So he folded everything, he said, I'm going back. He said, it is my right to suffer. Imagine, I said, now what to say to this man? I said, all right, then go ahead with it. When you are fed up with it, you come to me. But just now you have a right to suffer, do what you like. If somebody wants to hit himself with a bamboo or something, and you say, why do you want to hit yourself? It's a right, my right to hit myself. All right, hit. But you have no right. Because you cannot create yourself. You have no right to torture yourself. You have no right to make yourself miserable. You have to make yourself happy, joyous people, blissful people, so that God feels. You have received blessings, that He may be praised through His own creation, that is the epitome, the human beings. That's the best way you should please God, by saying, Father, we are very happy. Don't worry about us. We are so thankful. So that's how the joy killers come to us from the left side. The right side is the people who kill others' joy. Spoiled sports, as you call them, in a very mild way. They are the ones who are aggressive. They cannot see anybody being peaceful. Even countries can be like that. Collectively they can do like this. If they see any country is peaceful, they'll attack. Why is it peaceful? We must attack and capture that country. The people who cannot bear the joy of other people become aggressive and try to aggress them. There are people who just get sometimes jealous, sometimes just for aggression they become aggressive. I have no reason sometimes, the way people suddenly shoot up like Jack in the Box and start talking in such an aggressive manner, you don't understand why should you aggress. There is no need to aggress at all. But they go on aggressively. Then they may found a thing like, as the Germans did, that we are a superior race, a sense of superiority. All your racialism comes from this nonsense of a aggression. I mean, I can't understand Western people. For example, they are so particular about their race being preserved because they think they are white skin. But they go to the sea, make it black. Why? I mean, either you are white skinned or you have black, one of the two. So they are so confused. They think they are not beautiful because they are white skinned, light skinned. So if you are not so beautiful, then why do you think that you are above the world? Racialism is something so much a mental projection, absolutely a mental projection. And with this mental projection, we gather so much of curses of the other one. I'll give you an example. We went to China. And Chinese are so much against British. I was surprised, so much against the worst are British according to them. They had 7 aggressors. I said, what? Because they gave them dopes, you see. And if you ask the British of that time, they will say that because they deserved it, we gave it. You see, what's wrong? But when I told them that Britishers are taking drugs and all that, nice for them. Let them all take it. That's what they deserve. They drugged us, let them have the drugs. Nobody will have sympathy with people who are aggressors. If you think you are a great race, go ahead with it. And the whole race is going toward the doom. You must know you have to learn from others also. People have learned from you, politics, economics, I don't know what you have made out of it. If you think you have done very good, well, I have nothing to say. Also other things they have learned from. English language I have learned. And why do you call everybody a lower developed thing? You are a developed country. Where have you developed atom bombs to kill yourself? What have you developed? All kinds of aggressiveness. To go to other country with a Bible in the hand and another pistol in your hand or a rifle in your hand to kill others. This aggression comes from mental projection that we have, that we are great, you see, puffed up. The best for that is Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. That's the one it is. These are the Humpty Dumptys. I tell you, all rhymes are so sensible. And they say the Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall and Humpty Dumpty had a big fall. And all the king's horses and men could not put them together again. That's what it is, a Humpty Dumpty, a big ego like a balloon, they move like as if something, you see, like angels in the world. While when they will reach the kingdom of God, God will say about business, you have to take any part of this creation. Who are you? I don't know. Because in collectivity you are so poor in this respect. So we have to understand that God has created all of us. We have to have variety. It looks nice. That you wear another dress, I wear another dress, I have another face, you have another face. Unless and until there is variety in the nature, it doesn't look nice. You will be bored still. I mean, people get bored still. I tell you, when I have seen these people when they come to India, they want to go to villages because in the city they say there are very white-skinned people. You want to see something else than this. This variety is an important part of the beauty that God has created, out of which if you think the white skin is high. Tomorrow the black skin people will say the black skin is high. Possibly. But the another thing is working out against this, very subtle, which you do not understand. The people whom you have aggressed are falling into your young people. They are the ones who are aggressing you now as gurus, trading out your money in a very subtle way. They are dominating all your young generation, which is tomorrow's nation. They are giving them drugs and things and they are just making them into cabbages in a very subtle way because they are left-sided people. They know how to. The aggression is not apparent. The aggression is at least better, that you can see it apparently. But this is a very subtle aggression that is crawling in. and it's going into your minds, it's working here, and you are losing contact with yourself. Every action has a reaction, but this reaction is very wrong for me, because I have come at a time when thousands of my children, the seekers of God, have been born. This is the time when they have to get their realization, and at this time these people are so powerful because of your fear now. The person who aggresses also has a fear. The children might develop a fear that we should not aggress. And they become so mild that they take aggression from others. And that's what is happening to your children when your grandparents aggressed others. They now want to take all the aggression from the other. That is also wrong. So this is what is happening to our society today. I would say, to sum it up, we'll say that the people in the West are committing a sin against the mother, and in the East, in India, against the father. And how they commit, that I will tell you in the third center. The third center is of the sin. The third center that belongs to the seeking is a very important one, because it gives you seeking in all kinds of things. Money, power, love, and ultimately God. Now when you are going against the current of a revolution, sideways if you are moving, then the problems are created. That people who are seeking power outside must know that the power lies within yourself. As I told someone the other day, that I am the greatest capitalist and the greatest communist. Because I have all the powers within myself, and I cannot live without sharing it with others. I am a very happily married woman, I have a very nice family, everything I have that one could think to be a very successfully married woman. That's what I am. But I can't enjoy anything without sharing this inner joy with you all. This is the real politics of God. Not an artificial politics where we believe in communism, but in heart we are capitalist. And while we believe in capitalism, in heart we are communists. We are suffering because there is no integration. All this, what you see artificially, is all real there, because whatever is artificial comes from some real source. If there is one artificial flower, it means there are real flowers, and you can create many artificial flowers, but it has to have some background. All these ideas that human beings have about economics also is very artificial to possess things, to possess many things. To possess human beings also is there, possessiveness. But you must know possession is the greatest headache. Logically perhaps. I don't possess this instrument, thank God. So I'm not worried about it. I'm using it nicely because it is high-end or whatever it is. It's not mine. I'm not to look after it. Otherwise I'll have to insure it, I'll have to look after it, big headache. It's better to see other people's palaces than to have for yourself. It's a headache, you see. The owner of the palace, if you go and see, has all the wrinkles which you can count one by one. A very sad man sitting there, miserable. And they point it out, he is the owner of this palace, while others who are seeing it are enjoying. And the fellow is sitting miserable because he has problems of duty, he has problem of income tax, he has problem how to maintain. But you don't possess anything, it's a myth. It's a myth. We don't take anything with us, only we take our realization. But it's not a mental thing that I can tell you. You cannot detach yourself from any one of these things unless until you get your realization, because attachment is there as a result of ignorance. Unless until there is light, you cannot give up. Mentally you cannot do it. But the possessiveness in India is that they think they should somehow hook up, crook, make money. Not all, but many. At least the people at the helm of affairs feel like that. That means they have no faith in God. Sri Krishna has said, Yoga Kshema Mahamyam. When you will get your yoga, when you will get your union, I look after your Kshema means your well-being. Sri Krishna was in India. And this is what India believes in. When God is going to look after us when we get yoga, why not get to yoga straightforward? I could understand that we had to fight for our freedom, that's all right. But after that fight, now what do you have to have is yoga. First take to your yoga and he looks after you, because this is the principle of wealth also, of your well-being. Those who come to Sahaja Yoga somehow get their debts paid, they get out of all the financial entanglements, they get sufficient money to give back, but not too much, because that's an extreme. They live gloriously, they become generous people. Despite affluence, I find people have no sense of generosity. They are saving money. Morning till evening, save so many pounds, spend so much, save so much. The advertisement goes that way. Means spend so much, so you save so much. And people are looking out for us how they can save money. Save for what? For what? To go to a pub? We have strikes, things like that. Australia is another one very much infested by this strike business. We are suffering because of that. I can see that clearly. That's happening in England also, same thing. The reason is, you do not know why you want to save money, why do you want to have more money. Is this bottomless pit which you have to fill with alcohol. Alcohol is the curse of the West. That is the curse of the West. But human nature is so funny that they see a man falling down on the ground, they enter into the same pub, to come back and fall on the other side. Perhaps they think the other side is missing, so let's fill it. It's so stupid to see. I mean, I was living in a place near the church, supposed to be the biggest church of England, in Catholic Church. And the only activity I saw there in the morning was the beer, big barrels of beer coming in and empty ones going out. That's all. No other entry, no other exit. Only that much. From the back side, from the sideways, I saw this was the only thing going on. And these priests are supposed to be godly. It is so absurd you can't imagine. In Russia I went and they took me to a church. You see, they have a church of Orthodox. You too have here, I've seen Orthodox church. And the fellow, head of the church, told us that today, this is our fasting day, so we can't eat meat. But he drank so much that he became a drunk. And we didn't know where to look. He got drunk completely. He was supposed to see us out because we are VIPs. And there were 3 officers with us, they started laughing. He said, this is what Christianity is. I said, why? Why this? He said, you know what happened? That Russians thought that they must also have a religion. After all, everybody has a religion. So sent for someone. So the Muslims came in and they said, in Islam, you can marry 4 times, but you cannot have alcohol. They said, this won't work out for such Russians. This is all right. Go on. So then they said, all right, let's call Catholics. So they called the Catholics. And the Catholics said that you can have alcohol quite all right, as much as you like. I don't know why they got this idea that they can have alcohol. Let him lie down, it's all right. Let him, he's not well, I think. It's all right. Let him have his own rest, doesn't matter. Don't you worry. You must take a vow that you will not marry another woman. And that there is no divorce. They said this won't work out. But Orthodox Church was like our gurus. Said, do what you like, we are not bothered, as long as you give your purse to us. And that's how Orthodox Church came. Can you believe it? This is the plight of the churches, of the temples. Now, I asked a boy who was taking drugs, a Western boy. I said, from where do you get? He said, from the temples of India. Can you imagine the temples? While you people think that all that is Indian is great, you see temples are great. Even lamas are another institution by themselves. You think lamas are great people? We had a big argument on that. These lamas extracted blood out of that Tibet, you won't believe. If you see a Tibetan, it's just without any blood, without any fleshing. And these people lived in big Lhasa place, see, with the golden cups, with golden plates. And one of them came to Sweden and he told these people that if I have to come, I must have a marble floor. What was he going to do with the marble floor? God knows. Poor things, they starved themselves. These young people don't have so much money in the West, and made a marble floor for this great man to come in. He would sit 7 feet high, and what did he do there? Is to go just and bow to 1001 time on that old marble while he's sitting nicely on a very cozy place. And they got all kinds of diseases with that. This is what it is. This is so-called lama. Now, one has to understand that religion is for your balance. Balance is for your ascent. And the ascent is the one you have to achieve. And if you cannot achieve your ascent through any method, then you give it up completely. Because it would be something like not arriving at the point, not completing what you are. You are not complete unless and until you become the Spirit. And this is the biggest problem today, is to bring to people the simple fact, it's very simple, that Spirit is within you and can be enlightened spontaneously, without any effort, without reading about it, because it is so wide, just like your own heart beating. You cannot believe in a person who can be genuinely benefactor. Even some of them said, must be suspicious she doesn't take any money. They can't believe it. How can I charge for my life? What can you pay? Can you value it in money? Can you value it in anything that exists? This joy is boundless. Is your own. It's just waiting to open its door. The flood of that joy is going to come into your life. But once you have got realization, as Dr. Warren has said, be careful that you establish yourself. Individually, every person can give realization to thousands. This one Indian who is just a farmer has given realization at least to 10,000 people whom I never met before. Of course, he can't give en masse, but still, from one to another, to another, to another, like that, he has given 10,000 people. And he's a miraculous man. It is very easy to mock at these things and to make fun of this. It's a sign of superficiality. You are great. You are fantastic. I'm requesting you as a mother that just recognize yourself. Have your self-esteem. And don't worry as to what I have said. Whatever you have done is all forgiven once for all. At this moment, you have to be absolutely beautifully placed as the most innocent people ever to be. No guilt of any kind. No guilt at all. Yesterday, some people came there, guilt, and I suffered here. I got the pain here. They suffered so much with this idea of guilt. It's all your own mental projection. So without any guilt, we are going to get realization today. I hope it works out with all of you. If it does not, tomorrow, day after, I am going to tell you about other chakras. Tomorrow. And then about realization, about the Spirit. Then we want to have a workshop, as we call it, which is a very funny word I find. Workshop, as if you are all machines and I can use some hammer to make your heads. But I see it's a blossom time. And some gardening we are going to do. And we are going to invite you to some place on Sunday come and have lunch with us. And we'll have a very relaxed time and we'll enjoy this being within us. May God bless you. Unnecessary waste of time. We just start the realization. Now a very simple thing has to be done. Where is it? Just take out your shoes because the Mother Earth is going to help us. Just take out your shoes. Also take out your spectacles because your eyesight might be left. As I said before, you do not feel guilty at all. Not at all guilty. First of all, before closing your eyes, you have to tell yourself, I am not at all guilty. Thrice you must tell yourself assertively that Mother, I am not at all guilty of anything, because I am talking of God who is so anxious to give you this, who is the ocean of love, who is the ocean of forgiveness. You should sit with relaxed mind, put your hands towards me, just like this. Simple way, like this, just put it on your lap. Just like that. You can keep it on the ground, it will pick me up. You can keep it down here, yes. It's all right. Be comfortable. Be comfortable. If you have something very strong on your neck, you can little bit reduce it if it is tightening or in any way hurtful. Anything, whichever thing, which way you are comfortable is the best. You know. Now with a cheerful mind, you have to receive it. Not to be angry with yourself. In no way be angry with yourself. So put both the hands on your lap and close your eyes. Just close your eyes. So as a result of the Kundalini awakening, what happens? That first of all you start feeling the cool breeze coming out of your head. It's the real baptism. That's the first thing that should happen, that the cool breeze starts coming out of your head. Please don't open your eyes. Please just don't open your eyes. Because if you open your eyes, the Kundalini won't rise above Agya Chakra. So just keep your eyes shut. It will help a lot. Not to bend your neck too much or to put back, but be straight. Be straight and parallel. Be comfortable. Put both the hands straight on the Mother Earth, away from each other, not touching each other. Now, the first center that I told you about is the center of your chastity, of your wisdom. So you have to say, Mother, please awaken the innocence within me. Just to say that, because this is your right. I cannot force you. You have to ask. This is your freedom. If you don't want it, I cannot do it. You have to ask that please awaken my innocence within me. And my desire to be one with the divine should be intense. Please awaken my Kundalini, this desire within me, and make me learn all the technique of divine love. That is called as Shuddha Vidya, is the pure knowledge of the technique. You have to ask, that's the problem is. Because human beings have been given something which cannot be taken away. Not to feel guilty at all is again I say every time, don't feel guilty. Don't say how can I do it, it's all within you, it's just built in, the whole instrument is there. Just I have to connect it, you just help me. Why not feeling guilt at all? Because your guilt has no meaning at all. Compared to the ocean of love, it's not even a speck, it can be washed up in no time, so you just don't stick on to your guilt. Now left hand is your power of desire and right hand is your power of action. So keep the left hand as it is towards me. So the desire is steady there. Now use the right hand first of all on your heart. Put your right hand on the heart. In the heart resides the spirit, the reflection of God Almighty. So you have to say, Mother, make me the spirit. Now you have to become the master of all these three gunas. The three powers I have told you. Like you have got in a car, a brake and an accelerator. You have these three powers within you, by which you first of all make mistakes, these two powers, and then you become the third power, which is the automatic driving power. You learn it. Just becomes part and parcel of you, don't think about it. And then the master who is sitting behind the car, you become that. When you become the master, you start seeing the driver in you and all these powers within you and handling them just like a master handles his own vehicle. You handle it and you just don't get into tantrums and into all kinds of things which are not within your reach, within your control. That's how you become the master. So to become the master, you put your right hand on your stomach on the left hand side. Right hand on the left hand side of your stomach. Right hand on the left hand side of your stomach. Right hand on the left hand side of your stomach and left hand towards me. That's correct, like this. Yes. Now you have to say, Mother, make me my own master. Say, try. Then, now you have to say, Mother, I am my own master. Put your left hand towards me, please. Left hand should be towards me, yes. Open, open, not closed hand. Now say, Mother, make me my own master. You have to be your own master. You are not to be guided by any master or anyone. It's your spirit which is going to guide you. Just say 10 times, I am my own master. Now raise the same hand higher to the spirit, to your heart, and now say 10 times, Mother, I am the spirit. Ten times. Just right hand, don't move left hand, only move right hand. Left hand you keep all the time stretched. Right hand you move to the heart and say 10 times, Mother, I am the spirit. Now, put the right hand on the left hand side of your neck, left hand side of your neck on the Vishuddhi chakra, the left Vishuddhi. We are working on the left throughout. So you say, Mother, I am not guilty. 16 times as a punishment. Just sit down. Be comfortable. Just say, Mother, I am not guilty. Times. This will cure lots of your problems of guilt, of diffidence. You cannot be guilty because you are the spirit. The spirit cannot be guilty. Now put your right hand, again, left hand being there where it is, on your forehead across. On your forehead across at the center of our Lord Jesus Christ. And say, Mother, I forgive everyone. With your full heart, you should say, Mother, I forgive everyone. Because if you don't forgive, you are working under a myth. Because you are not troubling the person is troubling you. Just say, Mother, I forgive everyone. Some people say it is difficult, it is the easiest thing. It's just your mental projection it is. Now put this right hand on top of your head. You'll find it's a little hot. The heat is coming out of your body. Just put it on top of your head. The heat coming out, you press it. The palm of the hand should be pressed in the center. You find there's a heat. You press it. At this point, you have to ask for your realization again, because I cannot force it on you. So you have to say, Mother, I want my realization. Please give me my realization. I am a seeker of truth. Please give me my realization, Mother. Now raise your hand and see if there's a cool breeze coming out. You can change your hand, put your right hand towards me and put the left hand and see if there's a cool breeze coming out. Right hand towards me, not closed one, open hand. First eye, which is doing all the living work, everything around us. Now put down your hands, please. And see if you are feeling now in your hands. Just see if you are feeling in your hands also. You feel very relaxed. To bring peace, bliss of God and kingdom of God on this earth. Please raise the hands who have felt the cool breeze in their hands. All of you have felt it. That's great. Very great. So many of you have felt. May God bless you. You need not think about it. Only thing, I will tell you how to fix your Kundalini better. Because, you see, it's like fixing it into a plug properly, otherwise it can be loose a little bit. So, what did we do? They tell you how to do it. Just try.
Just with your left hand near the Kundalini at this point.
Put the left hand towards your Kundalini, little in front.
And the right hand in front, and you come around in that fashion.
First, higher, forward, lower, backwards. Like that. You have to move. This is the left hand which moves steady and the right hand moves round and round like that, clockwise. Now you go on moving it.
And you raise it.
Raise it, your Kundalini. Go up. Take it up. Push back your hands. Make them loose. Push it up. Make it a big twist on top of your head. And now give it a knot. This is first time. This is for the first power. For the second power again, put your hand in front of your Kundalini. But do it properly. Higher, in front, lower and backwards. Again. Start doing it. Raise it. Go high and push your back, your hands and just give it a big twist. Again. Now for third power you have to do it thrice. 3 knots. Don't pull down your hands but just do it 3 times. Again, let's do it. You are raising your own Kundalini. Go up. Again, push back your hands. Give one twist. Keep your hands there. Give it a knot. Again, twist your hand. And give it a knot. Again, twist your hand. And now, give it a big knot. Now see for yourself if your hands are working better. These are the hands that are going to speak. As told by Muhammad Sahib, that at the time of your resurrection, your hands will speak. Now you can see that in the hands we have shown the chakras, the fingertips. All these I will tell you. Today's 3 chakras I will tell you where they are. Left side is left side, right side is right side, and the center side is here. And the 3 chakras we have. The first chakra is this one on the left hand side. This is right hand side, first chakra. Then the second chakra we have are these, one on the left hand side, right hand side. And the third chakra are these, for the left hand side and right hand side. Now what you feel, if there's something wrong with these chakras within yourself, you will feel a little burning, or maybe little numbness, or maybe some heaviness. What all these things indicate, I'll tell you tomorrow. And on other people also you can feel it. But just now you don't try on other people, because it's like the sprouting of a seed, which is very delicate. You have to look after it. Tomorrow and the after, we'll work it out. You establish yourself fully in Sahaja Yoga. You have to become a guru, a complete guru of your own. May God bless.
As Mother said, there will be a workshop on Sunday. We'll give the address tomorrow night and Friday night. And you're all invited. Mother will work it out. And keep the whole day free, because we're happy to show you all the aspects of Kundalini and the chakras. Bring your lunch along. It should be a good day. Tomorrow evening, Mother will speak about the heart chakra, the center of security within us, the Vishuddhi chakra, which is the center within which we are able to witness the drama of life and get our self-esteem, and the Agya chakra, which is the center of Christ, which relates to the principle of the Spirit, the quality of forgiveness. And then finally, the Sahasrara chakra, which is the center which Mataji herself has opened in this incarnation. So the 2 successive lectures are going to deal with those centers. Thank you very much and good evening.
How are you? You're not well? You are being which
Yeah. Hi.
You are.